Hello YouTube, long time no see. Michael here, and I thought I'd give a quick update today because I haven't uploaded in quite a long time now because I've been very busy, but I thought this would be a good time to do so. But I hope you've been well, I hope you've been enjoying my other content. If you don't know, I have been uploading on my other channel, which is the Level Up English podcast channel. That's where I've been putting in all of my work, all of my time over there. So if you want to find out more, you can go over there, check it out. I'll put a link somewhere here on the screen or in the description for you to have a look at. But one reason why I've been so busy recently is because, as you might be able to tell from my background here, I'm not in England anymore. In fact, I'm in Thailand. I'm now living in Bangkok, Thailand. So this was a very big move for me. And I just thought I'd give a quick update today and share what I've been up to recently. And for those of you who are new here, this is a channel where you can learn English. I try to make English learning fun, and I like to take it outside with me and show you what I'm up to as well. So that's why while I'm talking today, I may be giving some definitions of words, trying to teach new vocabulary as I am describing these new things. But maybe you could join me on a walk around this park here, somewhere near the center of Bangkok, while we talk about what's been going on recently. It has been quite a long time since I filmed one of these outside videos, a few months to be exact. So I may be a little rusty. I'm feeling a bit rusty today. If you're feeling rusty, it's because you haven't been practicing a skill so much, and maybe you've got a little bit worse as a result. So I think I'm a little bit rusty. I need to build up that confidence of filming outside again, but I hope you'll bear with me. So it has been approximately 3 weeks since I've moved here to Bangkok. At the time of this recording. It's all still fairly new for me, but I thought it could be interesting to talk a bit about culture shock, what that means and my experience of it here. So of course I've been to other countries before. I have been to Thailand before, but this is my first ever time kind of moving to another country for a long-term thing. One thing you may already be able to tell just by watching this video is the climate. The climate is very different here, very different to what I'm used to in England. It's very hot and humid. I don't think we've had a day below 30 degrees Celsius since I've been here. And yeah, the humidity is very different too. So it's very sticky, we could call it, very sticky. Your skin is always wet and it's not a super comfortable feeling. So that's something I've had to adapt to. It was a bit of a shock, but honestly it's quite nice because England was just too cold. I find the winter there gets very long, so it's quite nice for a change. But I imagine after a few years, this kind of level of heat and humidity will get very, very annoying. So I'm kind of looking forward to going back to England at some point and feeling that kind of cold, crisp feeling again, that fresh feeling. For the most part, I feel like I've settled in really well. If you settle in somewhere, it's like you become more comfortable in a place. Lots of noisy birds here though. So I've settled in really well. I feel like it's become a lot easier, more comfortable. But then on the other hand, there's still a lot to get used to. And I think one of the things that I am still getting used to is almost this dichotomy between kind of rules and kind of a relaxed nature. And what I mean by that, so let's look at this word dichotomy first of all, because that's quite an advanced word. Dichotomy is used when there are two things that are kind of contrasting, but they're very different things. So you might talk about the dichotomy between British and American culture, for example. And so what I mean by that in this context is, on the one hand, things feel quite relaxed here, like especially, for example, when it comes to driving. People kind of drive wherever they want on the road, and the road gets quite chaotic. It's not super strict and formal like it might be in England. So that initially, at first, gave me the idea that people here didn't really care much about rules and it was more relaxed. But as I've been here longer, there have been some kind of contrasting, opposite feelings as well, where I've done things that in England would be no big deal, but here seem to be breaking the rules. So I'll give you one example. I was at the train station and I had a very big bag that was kind of really heavy. So while I was waiting for the train, I leaned my bag up against the wall. And then as I did that, one of the staff kind of ran over to me shouting like, no, you cannot lean your bag on the wall. He didn't speak English, but I kind of understood him based on his gestures. And I found that really strange. Like in England, you would never care about that kind of stuff. So in many ways, there are a lot of rules to follow in England, but in other ways, it's quite casual. Like you can do what you want. There's a lot of rules like that here. Another one, I love skateboarding, and most places here, you just cannot go skateboarding. I don't know why, they just don't like it. Rules like that make no sense to me. But yeah, just being honest, that's one kind of, not perhaps culture shock, but one thing that I'm trying to get used to being here. Like what is allowed and what is not expected of people, I suppose. Another huge one, this is quite a big culture shock for me, is the wildlife here, the wildlife. So as you can see by this sign here, there's some very unusual wildlife compared to England. So in my own opinion, in most of Europe, you don't really get any kind of super scary or strange animals. I know strange is subjective, it depends on your opinion, but most of the animals, at least in the UK, are quite small and cute and harmless. They're mostly harmless. Whereas coming here, it's a whole different story. It's really bizarre to see such huge lizards, essentially like dinosaurs, walking around the park in the city. Something that I have never seen before, and it's just a real shock to me to see that's normal here. And in fact, that's another culture shock. A lot of the wildlife and the kind of fruits and vegetables are different here. When I first came here, it was almost like going to an alien planet, where I would go to like a fruit or vegetable market and everything was different. I didn't know the name of anything. It was all like totally new for me. And even walking around this park today, you can see like animals that I've never seen before. Like just over there, I saw, it kind of looked like a cross between a squirrel and a rat. And I have no idea what it was, but things like that you see a lot here. I suppose kind of leading on from that other example about the rules, there's another kind of dichotomy that I would say is between chaos and a sense of easygoingness. If you're easygoing, it means you're laid back, you're relaxed, and anything is fine, you know, you can chill, take it easy, that kind of attitude. So I get a real sense here that a lot of the people are quite easygoing, and you see this in little things like on the roads, not many people beep their horns. In England, people get quite angry on the roads and they beep their horns when they're angry. But here, the only times I've seen people beep their horns is to warn others when there's some danger. I've never seen anyone do it out of anger, which is a really interesting contrast. On the one hand, things seem quite chaotic. Like if you go on the streets, it's busy, it's crowded, it's noisy. If you go to the markets, it's so cramped, there's so much stuff going on, it's quite chaotic. There's a lot of chaos and busyness going around. However, in other areas, things are quite chilled out and people are easygoing. So I find that difference really interesting, that there's like those two opposite things in one place, where perhaps I would say England is somewhere in the middle, right? People are less easygoing, but on the other hand, things are less chaotic as well. So that's an interesting difference I found. But one thing that I would say I'm learning here from the people here is to lean into the chaos. So this is a really good phrasal verb now. If you lean into something, lean, that word lean is literally just kind of like to lean your body against something. You're kind of supporting your body on something else. So if I want to lean onto a wall, I might kind of, you see I'm leaning onto the wall like that. And if you lean into something, it's you kind of accept it fully and you don't resist it. It's the opposite of resist. So I think that's a really good phrase to remember, which is lean into the chaos. If you lean into the chaos, it's like you stop resisting the chaos. In fact, I learned this phrase, first of all, when I was in Chiang Mai a few years ago, where you can take a bike, it's like a taxi, but you go on a motorbike, and it's so busy, there's bikes coming at you everywhere, it feels like you're gonna die. If you're resisting it and you're trying to fight that feeling of chaos the whole time, you will always feel nervous, you'll feel anxious, you'll feel scared. If you lean into that feeling and accept it fully, you will start to enjoy the experience a lot more. So I think this is a good lesson for many things for language learners as well. So if you're feeling some sense of fear, anxiety, or apprehension about something you're doing, Let's say, for example, for you English learners, you're feeling anxious about joining a class and improving your English, then try to lean into the fear. Don't try to run away from it and fight it. Lean into it and accept it, because that fear, I think, is an important motivator for you. And if you're scared of something, then perhaps it means it's important to you. Maybe, not all the time. So it's something to consider. I think it's a nice lesson for me as well. So that's pretty much it from me right now. I just wanted to give you a quick update video, and maybe you've also learned something new while watching this video, which is always a nice bonus. So that's it, I suppose. If you want to give me some tips about Bangkok, or maybe give me some tips on the Thai language, then that's always appreciated. I am learning a little bit, but it's taking its time. If you saw my previous update video a few months ago, you will know that I'm no longer promising to upload regularly on this YouTube channel, and that has allowed me to focus on other projects, which has been really nice. But I still don't want to give up on this channel, so if you have any suggestions for future videos or anything you want to see, leave it in the comments and I will do my best to make a video on your request. But thanks so much for watching, really appreciate your support. If you want to see more of me on a regular basis, then head over to the Level Up English podcast channel. But for now, bye-bye. See you next time.